13 in the leaderboard, so that is not the way to go. The NSX I already bought last week. That was basically the only thing that I needed. The Vector I already had, so that's fine. The Citroën is something that you can use, but more than likely the Porsche will be faster. Although if you have good settings for this Citroën, it might be a bit of competition. Mini Cooper also works. It's one of those three. We need a European Rallycross, so whatever it is that you have available. Lamborghini Veneno. Yeah, that is indeed probably the car that we're going to have to use. The track, although last week on the hub it did not tell us the name of this track. So we thought it was going to be a new track, but it isn't. It's going to Vegas, which is one of the newer tracks. That's probably why the hub didn't recognize it. And then we have the Florida trip, which is a new track, street race. Yeah. It's not that bad. It has like, especially the middle section is a bit twisty. We have some barriers there, so on the first look I noticed that there might be some cuts here or there. We will see. But it also has mainly to do with high speed. So, and we do not need this thing. We need the Corvette though. The ZR1 seems to be the fastest. Ford GT 2005 might be an option. The Viper might be an option, but I think they're all too slow compared to the ZR1. And this thing is probably one of the slower American cars. So I'm not gonna buy that bundle. I just bought the NSX GT3 last week for this to prepare for this summit. And it's wonderful snowing. From Dusk Till Dawn, that also kind of suggests we're gonna do things at evenings, at nights. We know how that is in this game. That is a bit darker than daytime. That has mainly to do with the fact that we don't have proper light reflections. Some people say the headlights do not work. They do work, but you don't see much from them because of the reflections on the environment, on other cars, on the trees, on whatever. And that has to do with consoles not being able to cope with that. If they would do that on such a big map scale, the consoles will basically crash, I think. But maybe, just maybe, with the new consoles coming next year, they might actually come up with that. We will see. Lunar Year next week. We have boy smashing. We have aerobatics and slalom. An off-road slalom, yeah, we know what that is. Meanwhile, that means a muddy edition of some sort of street bike or hypercar, probably. I have a few problems here for next week, as you can see. The Powerboat DCB M31 wide body. Don't have that thing. The Hovercraft Double LEEX. Do not have that thing. And the Rallycross Lancia Delta S4, which I also do not have. That's what you have on this summit. Nope. Basically have cars that we had to use in previous summits, but not what we are going to have to use. So we need to grant some money during the week. We'll have a look what that costs. Probably those three will be in the bundle. The rest is no restrictions. That's a bit of a problem that I have with these bundles. It's like next week, for instance, we need these 3 vehicles. That's the only thing that they should give us. The rest is something that people have with no restriction. But then on top of that, they usually put like some... They will put a street race car in there. They will put a hypercar in there. They will put a rally raid car in there, which makes the bundle more expensive. And as you can see, 215,000 bucks. And I still need to buy the new car that came in the game today. So we're gonna have to do the summit first, and then we'll buy the new car. That's for next week. Then we have the premium summit, which means car for the platinum special edition. In this case, the Veyron. And then the Free Spirit came into the calendar this week. The Blinking Blue Underglow, the GBR1 air race plane, by the looks of it, I think. It is a blue picture, kind of suggesting it is the pro race, but for all I know, it can as well be the aerobatics. And then, what is this here? 7 parts on the picture, that means that's a full set. So that's going to be a hypercar, nitro chemist, pure 8, extra pump 10. If you only see 1 part on the picture, then it means it's a boosted set where you will get like 3 or 4 parts. And then the next week, the rest, more or less. Sort of like we have here. These are boosted parts. This is not a complete set. I think we won the first part. Is it this way and then the week after or something like that? Yeah. Here is the rest of the part of the set. Okay, let's go. This week from Dusk Till Dawn, A speed trap. That's gonna be dragster. An off-road escape and an off-road slalom. Yeah, forget about off-road vehicles. That's gonna be muddy additions. A muddy set, which probably with some pure on it or something for the escape, and a muddy skilled score breaker set for the slalom, if you want to use it. If you don't, which like on this driver, I don't think I have that, then it's a problem. Pretty simple. Then you need to use rally rate. You need to use something with a score breaker with skilled on. And if you don't have that in combination with muddy, then you don't need to use a hypercar, and you can as well use rally rate car because you're gonna score more points. Touring car, NSX GT3, USA, that's gonna be the ZR1. I'm just gonna use the Veneno for the Italian hypercar. Might do a run on the Rallycross with the Porsche as well as with the Citroën. Those are the two vehicles that I have on this driver. Powerboat, no selection there. The Vector, Jaguar, and the Red Bull 14 or 14 Disruption Edition, I would guess. Let's start with the speed trap. Not important. As you know, speed trap, that's Corvette. That's pure, that's frenetic. That is not something that we're gonna do because it's snowing. Wonderful stuff. Other thing that is a problem in this. Weather conditions. Free roam weather conditions in the skill test, so for once we're not gonna start with those, we're gonna skip that. The touring car more than likely will also be free roam. This also probably. No, this says this gives weather conditions though. Let's start with something on the water, even if it is snowing. Doesn't matter that much on the water. The Mississippi Everyzon in the Jaguar Vector V40R. Pretty boring here, as usual. It's a powerboat, so it's gonna be boring. Not just straight ahead. It's also not very twisty, is it? 152, I don't know what you're doing. With some other settings, you might do a 150, 149, 148. I have no idea. Let's have a look. What the times they are doing. 150.4 at the moment, first place. Pretty sure 52 is my time because I've done it with 2 drivers. So settings, I have not have a look at it actually. Probably still have like the. I put the drift assist on 10 because otherwise you might slide away a bit on that water. Like for instance for boy smashing or so, you sometimes put it on 5. And that's sort of what I have. 0, 8, 10, 9, 9, 10, 8. Yeah, the trim tabs, it's personal. That is like the sensitivity of your boat steering. See, I'm on a keyboard. None of these things steer very well. Whether what vehicle it is. Doesn't matter that much. It doesn't steer that well. So we have to put as much as steering as possible. But 10 was a bit too much because then the boat was sort of spinning around. So I put it on 8 now, but yeah. I'm pretty sure some people will have complete different settings. Sometimes I forget to show these settings, but it's also not that important because that is something you have to deal with yourself. You have keyboard, you have controllers, you have gamepads, you have wheels. It's all different settings. I had a comment yesterday or so on one of my YouTube videos. I'm copying the same parts as you and a core do, and also the same parts and the same settings, but I don't come anywhere near your times that you guys are doing. Yeah. What am I missing? Probably experience. $4,000 hours I played in the Crew 1, about 1,600 hours in the Crew 2. It's about track knowledge, it's about braking points, it's about steering. Braking points is already a big issue, especially for new players, because that's something that they don't like to do apparently, braking. Yeah, we can do the Rallycross maybe. Seems to be an evening session. We're gonna use that new set that we had there with Pure and Drifty. So we can also use the abort. Anything which is European, it's European Rallycross. So you cannot use the OP car, the new Mitsubishi Lancer, because that's Japanese. But other than that, yeah, the Fords you can also not use because those are American, at least in this game. So we use the Porsche. A bit of a tricky car to handle no matter what, but it just happens to be the fastest. I need to check something first. I need to check something. Let's see where our gearbox is. On 9. We could go for 10, but it's no, we'll just keep it on 9. Maybe a bit softer, but yeah, I have some strange settings on this car. Because no matter what you do with it, stiffen it up, make it softer, it all doesn't help very much. It has a strange way of moving. But I saw it was on the limiter, but it's I guess everything is on the limiter there because it's kind of downhill.
3.
We'll see. Give it another go.
1.
We also see how this new set works. Well, we are drifting, so the drifty can do its work. Put it on 10 just for this section already. I probably have to put the gearbox on 10. Yep. And then we have some hairpin sections where they put the checkpoint just a bit too early, which means you can cut before, because as you know, you can drive next to it, you still get the checkpoints. This is a full throttle reset. If you get the checkpoint, that is. Do another run, but I'm not so sure about this car. Might actually do a run with the Citroën later. Other than that, it's yeah, fastest way to the next checkpoint, basically. As always. This was sort of the first attempt of the new checkpoint placements, I guess. Because lately, Mr. Offroad, whoever that is doing a pretty okay job. Whoever is doing the street race, on the other hand, would be a cool track if they would place the checkpoints actually in the corner. Wheel spinning like crazy. If you where do we end up? 251.9. Definitely not the best runs. 132,000. Let's see what people are doing here. 243. Yeah, if we don't mess up half those corners and don't miss the reset checkpoint there and stuff like that, we can definitely go faster. Let's do a run with the Citroën as well. Oh, wonderful. Green parts. Get out of my garage. Seriously. Unbelievable. 4.8 million of these scrap parts I have, but I can't use them in any recalibration at all. Because I don't have bugs to do anything. We'll use the same set, so we're that's that set that we won from the last 2 weeks summit. The thing has pure 9%, so it is boosted. Normally you can only recalibrate to 8%, but these boosted parts give you 1% more. So pure 9 and drifty 5 instead of 4. Drifty, of course, is something you can replace with extra pump, because I don't think it's working very well in this thing. You're drifting, yeah, if you take these hairpins like you should take them, then you probably drift through the corner, and then it might actually work. In Don's video it looked like he could choose the Focus. Yeah, that's possible. Cars like the Focus and so over here in Europe they are considered European. Here in Europe, Ford is more or less considered like a German brand instead of a USA brand. But then we're talking about the Focus and the Mondeo and stuff like that. Like the Mondeo, I don't even know if they have that in the States. Ford USA is more the Raptors and stuff like that. Those pickups, those heavy pickups, which we do not have here in Europe. The only pickup that we have here in Europe is Ford Ranger, so that's like, yeah. This thing might be slower than the Porsche, but it's so much easier to drive. Yeah. That's also the thing here. Do you get it or not? I remember from last time that we used this special stage. You get them if you cut in front of them, but you need to be very close. Maybe even touch them, I don't know.
1.
It's pretty random with these things. I think you can cut that one as well there, snow corner. .288. This is where you make the difference that the Porsche has a higher top speed, is faster. Sharp steering. We also here have to change the gearbox. 248, it's already 3 seconds faster than the Porsche, but we missed the reset with the Porsche, so the Porsche is probably faster. 134, that will do for now. It's an alternative, just as the Mini Cooper works as well. Maybe even the Abarth works, I don't know. We can test that later on if necessary. Meanwhile, the weather cleared, so I hope. Yep. Which means we change the gearbox to manual. First, get rid of these parts. Don't need them. They only fill up your garage for no reason. And before you know it, you have no room for yellow parts. Drag car, of course. Slipstream 700 kilometers an hour plus. If you have to do it solo, it will be 600 something. And of course, the Stingray. Fastest drag car around. All the rest is completely unnecessary in the garage. Unless you have to drive around it. We come from that way. It's Okay, there was a guy under the ground for some reason. Thank you. That's not my traffic, that's his traffic. As always, don't bother by what he's doing. Wheel spinning like crazy for no reason. You can just start in 4th gear. Works as well. Go to 8,000 RPM, skip to 5th, and overtake. 651. He was too slow to get slipstream from, otherwise we might have like a 700 plus. But yeah, this is about it, I think. 640, 650, something in that order, you will get solo. Unless you are lucky to get some slipstream from a random player. Of course, you're not going to get much slipstream from these low icons, because 9 out of 10 they don't have upgraded vehicles. They're probably doing these skill tests to get their parts together. So then you really, you can get some slipstream from him, but then you have to time it. Don't start together with them if you see like a low icon, because you will catch him up, as you saw. .3, yeah, 650 something. All not relevant. We need a team here, 2-3 players, give each other some slipstream. Spend 5-10 minutes here and everybody has 710 plus. Problem solved. And it is more and more it's coming into play, because the times and all the rest of the events is pretty similar. So then you're gonna end up just like in the crew one, with this thing actually gonna matter. Because yeah, what is the difference? I'm scoring 125,000 points here. $132,000 points for those 710 plus guys. So yeah, there is 7,000 points in it if you do it with slipstream with a teammate, or you do it solo. 7,000 summit points if you play for, especially for the top of the leaderboard or so. 7,000 points is a lot, because those guys are pretty close. They are sometimes fighting for a few hundred points. The difference solo or in a team is 7,000 points. We have an off-road escape and we have an off-road slalom. I need to check that. I do not know what I have here. What do you need is pretty simple. A hypercar with a muddy set, but I don't know if I have that. So I'm gonna have to check what I have. If not, I'm gonna have to use a... Oh, I do have a muddy set. Okay. Muddy maxed out to 66%. All the rest doesn't matter that much. Bit of extra pump, bit of pure, some frenetic I have in here as well. The Devo Muddy Edition, I call this thing. And that is exactly what we're going to use. As well in the escape as in the slalom. In the slalom, on the other hand, you need skilled on the score breaker. So I need to look, because I think that's what I don't have. I probably have a score breaker somewhere, but I think I was... let's see. I do have a score breaker here. With skilled and muddy. Okay. Also here. Did I recalibrate that? Oh no. Here we have a score breaker with skilled. Here we have another one. I might actually have a few muddies here and there. The skilled is for sure maxed out on this. Yeah, here we don't have muddy. Might actually work. We'll see. We'll first use the normal muddy set. That is because this is an escape. You don't need skilled. You don't need. It's not about scoring. It's just about getting as far away as possible. So we just use the normal nitro chemist with muddy and some nitro parts in it. We will use that for the escape, and then we will see what we can put together for the other one. Favorite, please. Thank you. Where are we going? That's a good idea. No idea. We'll figure it out as we go. as fast as possible to the road, I guess. If you have been in a drag car, change your back to automatic, Dave. As every week, I forget that. Nothing new. We know that by now. Nice, thank you very much. Don't look at the trees, but look in the sky to sort of open spaces. If you see like a little bit of light coming in between those trees, that usually means that you can drive there. Ouch. That's too much to the left. I guess we have to go there somewhere. I see a couple of road sections there. So if we can make it to one of those road sections. But yeah, we're doing 370 kilometers an hour through the field because of the muddy. If you don't have muddy, don't use a hypercar. Then you can as well use something else. Because it will limit it to 180 kilometers an hour if you don't have the muddy. There's a highway here as well, I see. You can make it to that highway. Maybe. 6,300. But yeah, we hit the tree in the forest, so that's already 5 seconds or so that you could driven further. Let's have a look what people are doing here. 16,000 kilometers. Meters, 16 kilometers in other words. The Porsche Carrera green flash, for those who do not have that, it's also a miss because it's a pretty damn good car as well. Just as the Devo Magma Edition Summit Reward. Only 3,000 people have it on each platform. The same for the green flash, but it's also a very good one, that green flash. Let's see. Oh yeah, as you can see, top 6 is using the green flash. So apparently that's the new more than likely the new OP car, better than the Devo. Okay. That's how you deal with these things. We take off our muddy set and we look for the green flash, because yeah, we are one of those 3,000 that have that thing. Although I started as a noob on this driver, meaning no parts at all, we have not missed any single Summit reward vehicle. The first one was Summit number 2, I think. That Lancer Evo 10 Red Fury edition, and we also won that. Although we had like not leveled up vehicles, of course experience got us through that one, and then later on we got better parts and so on. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, I haven't driven this thing, so we're probably gonna have to tune that as well, or at least give it some tuning. Let's see. Oh well, although that's pretty okay, I think. It's off-road. I'm gonna put that a bit softer. 2, 3, 2, 4 something. Let's start with that. Camber, we need steering, friends. Put it pretty stiff on the anti-roll bars. What's the arrow on 4? What is that? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 seems to be. Could be 5 as well. After the update, it's 4 or 5 on the arrow usually. We'll give it a go, see what it does. Porsche Carrera GT Green Flash Edition. Well, the only thing that it matches with is the colors of the leaves and trees. Other than that, it's a hypercar on an off-road skill test. definitely not the way to go. Okay, this thing, yeah. I get the picture already here. This thing does not move at all, although we're flying over bumpy stuff here in the forest. It plants itself into the surface. That's a barrier. Nice, nice. Bit more to the right, I guess. But yeah, you can see it. It's like we're already here in this forest section. We are doing 0 kilometers an hour. We are doing 320 kilometers an hour plus there. That's why I use a hypercar with muddy instead of a rally rate vehicle or so, where you can only do 240, 250 maximum you can get out of those things. 300 if you use something like the Peugeot, but that's about it. This thing can do 360, 370 once you're in the field. You can find a bit of road. We go, oh my god, we go way over 400. This is UB Mochi style, hugging the trees. That's a gap. But where is the gap here? Going pretty fast to the forest. Yeah, this thing is ridiculously. Like driving on the road. Oh, that was a barrier, but we jumped over it. Oh, I think I need to get through that road though. Seem to end up always around 6,000-7,000 if you keep plowing through these fields. So that's not ideal. Okie doke. Bit more to the right, I guess then. Sort of started here. The road is there though, so you sort of aim for that road, I guess. That was the road, but we were so fast that we flew over it. I guess that's our visual point, that red thing here. Let's drive on a bit, see where this thing leads. Don't think it's the right road though. The highway is there somewhere. Okay, we need to get cleaner through that forest so that we have more time on the road surface at the end. Let's see, where's the circle? Pretty wide. So you can already get like some speed before you hit that gate, I guess. 200, 300. Left is a better option, I think. Start left. You have wider spaces there. Yeah, this is one of those things again. Here it opens up. One rock in the whole field and we just happen to find it. Just a matter of, if you don't hit those trees in the forest, you have way more time here to plow through these fields at 350 kilometers an hour. Then you can do 8, 9, 10 kilometers, who knows. Hello Don, but seeing you can't hear me, kinda pointless to say hello. We'll have a look on the slalom first. Yeah, here we do have a problem, of course. Let's have a look. What we have available. We can keep this set on this thing. Scorebreaker skilled muddy. That's good. I seem to have like let's see, what do we have? The skilled is maxed out and we have 45% muddy. That's not that bad. We don't have a muddy here and also not here. And I'm guessing the rest is not maxed out. Yeah, 5.7 and everything on the maximum price probably. But it's okay, we can use this. Huh? We have the skilled 75%, we have the score breaker, so we have the two most important things, and we have muddy, which should be good enough. We have 45%. That should be good enough to keep us going off-road here. Here. Also a bit bumpy here, and then and we can also easily get the 2000 points bonus, meaning 10 seconds on the finish. Okay. Evening time and a bunch of other players around, which which all makes it very interesting to not see where you go. Okay. I need to delete that Noob ghost that is driving there. I believe it's called RaceMasterDave. That's my ghost. That's because we only have 45% money and not 66 that we're sliding here a bit, but yeah, losing it there. 24,880. I think the world record at the moment is 24,900 something. But yeah, 155,000. So yeah, no doubt about it. If you have a score breaker on your hypercar with skilled, 25,006 is the world record meanwhile. But yeah, if we look in the overall, 29th with this driver. On the other driver I have a maxed out set, muddy 66%, and there I'm in 5th place. So it gives you the difference. So yeah, nothing to worry about. That's sort of done with. Best thing you can score is maybe a few 100 points more, but that's it. Touring car, I guess. Acura NSX GT3. Everybody in the same car. It's going back to my roots, which is also a track that we could not practice or anything, because you can only do that in that old Mercedes in activities. It's all about this S-corners combination here. You can get through that 3 times pretty clearly. Other than that, it's pretty much, I think about 60% of it is the same as last week in the M4. It's a different layout, but it's the same area here. Same track, same circuit, just a different layout. This first part here is all the same. Last week we went right here, and now we just go a bit left here. Also this part, from here on, it's also just like last week. With that difference that this car drives better than the M4 though. Steer left there, just straight ahead. That last part. .2085, whatever that means. It's something we have to check in the leaderboard. 159.6 they are doing. Let's have a look. 30th place. Probably do that a bit faster. We'll have a look. where our problem is at the end. We'll just first go around here. Hypercar Italy going to Vegas. I hate that track. Lamborghini Veneno I'm gonna use.
3, 2,
Yeah, the NSX is not that bad.
1.
Lamborghini, Ferrari, Italian cars you have to use here, so but after the update, if we talk Italian cars, you're probably gonna end up with something like this Veneno, because that's one of those things that they overhauled. They nerfed them a bit. What I did do is I put the gearbox on 10. And I did the same for the street racer later on, by the way. Because that's normal for summits. We have these things on acceleration, gearbox on 8 or 9 or whatever. I also have no idea how this track goes. These are those long, straight, boring tracks from PvP or so that the kids are always choosing. Too many long straights, which is the case in most of the hypercar events. I find them boring. So. Just try to follow the yellow line, then you're usually in the middle of the road. Like here, I mean, let's smoke a cigarette here on this park. Have a drink, something to eat. And the funny part is with like all those kids choosing always these tracks in PvP, like Big Land and also this one if it's available, and the Trip South or whatever it's called. The funny part with that is that usually they don't finish. They always select those vehicles and those tracks, but they usually do not finish. Fly out of the corners or whatever, and this is a pretty long track. You only have like 30 seconds to finish once the first guy has finished. Got that better. This needs to go way under 330, obviously. 334. Let's see, what are they doing here? But yeah, also here, very likely by the end of the week there's going to be a team thing. Huh? There are so many long straights, it's 4 lines wide in most of the 317 the first guys are doing here at the moment, but let's have a look. Who or what? It wants to load? No, it doesn't. Wonderful stuff. Okay, we'll do it the other way around then. That usually works. There we go. 317, 317. More than likely already a slipstream job. Seeing they are pretty similar times. Maybe even the 319 was also part of the team, but lost it at the last corner or so. Would not surprise me. Yeah, this is gonna be same team tags and such that you're gonna see here by the end of the week. No doubt about it. It has too many long straights. That means 3-4 people go into a team. They slipstream, they overtake each other. It's not ghosting though, so you have to overtake. You can hit each other, you can take each other out. So you need to do that, of course, with some people that know what you're doing. Okay, we'll do the Alpha GP first. Not so sure where I have the parts on. Let's have a look. And then we'll go from there. And then we do the new track to finish it up. And then see where we end up and start improving our scores like we do every week. Trying to get to the top 1% of the platinum. In other words, the top 30. I'm not so sure where I have the parts on. I think the... oh my god, seriously. This is why this is like, this is so much wasting time. Green and blue parts, every week the same in that summit. I'd rather win nothing. Instead of having to scrap that all the time. We have the parts here on the Disruption edition by the looks of it, and which is also the one we have to use because I don't have the other one on this driver. That's fine. It's a street race track though. Although we're in Alpha GP, it's the combo event. Alpha GP on oldies but goodies challenge, which is also a bit of a tricky track.
2, 1.
Doesn't like grass, of course, it's a Formula 1 car. And I also do not have the gearbox on 10 probably. Normally they can do 470, 480 I think. Yeah, stay up the road there. Bit of fighting with the car here. On my other driver I use the normal RB14, it seems to be better. Or I have to change my settings here, that's also a possibility. This car does not like the grass, you slide away in it. So we're gonna have to stiffen up the suspension a bit to fly through it as fast as possible. Although I think it's already pretty still everywhere. 455. We need to have a look on that. On my other driver I use the RB14 with I think with the gearbox on 10, and the thing can do 470, 480. This thing limits out at 455, so I'm gonna have a look if the gearbox is on 10 or not. If so, then it has to be the RB14. If that thing actually can get way more top speed, but we'll have a look. Oh no, it's on 9, so we can put that on 10 already. And we need to stiffen up the suspension. Let's try that to begin with, and that. Aero, probably one click or higher as well. Let's give it a run and see what we have to adjust. Would surprise me if we suddenly have found like the miracle setup. Probably not. Usually have to mess with that a couple of runs.
3,
But yeah, the suspension was too soft. Works pretty okay on a bit bumpy roads, but not yeah, we're gonna get some understeer of course because we stiffened up the suspension. One notch on the arrow also helps. We steer way sharper now. Yeah, now we can do almost 480, 478, something like that. So gearbox on 10. Already way better. Oh, I knew that was happening. Should not tap that wall on the bridge. Overtaken by a check. Yeah, oh yeah, that can happen. You fly it next to the checkpoint and then you tap with it with your rear tire, and then the checkpoint starts flying and you see it come by.
1.
What? AI's going on around, attacking us. Nope. Nope in action. But yeah, it's called the Summit Nope for a reason.
2, 1.
They tried to push into a car. Okay, now he doesn't like the curbs of course, because it's just stick. Also not so sure about these combinations. Oh my god. That did not work as planned. Not so sure what they... Certain touring cars on tracks like this would make sense, but no. They give us Alpha GP. That's like the second or the third time they do that. It seems to me like at Ivory Tower they have something against touring cars. They only give us like touring car tracks where people are resetting like crazy. They took the touring cars like once out of the out of their comfort zone, let's put it that way, and then they gave us serial jumpers. Like this is like perfect track to do with a touring car. Or one of those coastal ranges that all works fine with a touring car. Really can also cut sooner. Cut through those trees. Be very careful because you might end up against the bridge then. Don't boost in the graph because of course we don't have money on it. Also not available for this, so don't try recalibrating money on it, you will not find it. Checkpoint attack. .52 or something. Not super, but at least it's more like it. $130,000, that's always decent to begin with. Let's see, what are they doing here? 150. Okay. We're not even that far off. So Red Bull edition it is. The Disruption edition. Okay. We know what to do. Delete parts again. Take a picture for the gallery. That's slightly starting to get a little bit of a big file, all those setups. Like for this one, I think I already have like 3 different ones. We had a street race once, which was sort of the setup that we had on, that worked there. That was like some roof jumps in there as well. So Los Angeles somewhere, I think. And then we had a setup for a wet track, which was completely different, and now we have this thing, which is again completely different, but it works. Okay, which leaves us with the new track. USA cars, 4GT 2005 Viper, a couple of Challengers, Hellcat, Demon, whatever you want to use is all possible, but let's have a look on the leaderboard. It seems to be pretty clear what you have to use. ZR1 all over the place. On, what's it called? The Florida trip. Also here I put the gearbox on 10, which I normally do not have on this car, but it has some pretty long straights. Also here, would not surprise me if people are gonna do this in a T. There are some twisty sections, but there are also 2 parts where it's pretty much long straight action. I've done it once on my other driver, so yeah, but like here, yeah. With the gearbox on 10 in here. Do I have it on 10? Or does this thing has no top speed at all? 365 it limits out. That's pretty poor, eh? Yeah, like here I'm pretty sure once you do a few runs here, you know where the barriers are, I'm pretty sure you can do like some straight line action like here sorta. Just cut that corner and because yeah, but instead of putting a checkpoint in that corner, where do they put it? On the bridge. No, our street race definitely needs to have a talk with that off-road dev, because he understands where to put checkpoints. This guy not so much. This is okay, I guess, behind the corner, but like here, it would not surprise me if people are cutting through the woods here. Once they found the line, that's what some of them are specialists in it. They don't care for the track. They don't care. The only thing that they do is they immediately start searching like where are the guts. Yeah, like here. That's pretty clear. There was a gap there on the right. They just go straight there. No doubt about it. That was a straight line there. Let's have a look here. Yeah, probably as well. The street race guy is still doing the same. He's putting the checkpoints in between two corners. Instead of using two checkpoints in two corners, he puts like one checkpoint in between two corners. Then you can as well put no checkpoints in. So that was a bit of a twisty section. And that's it. And then it's like full throttle again. And you finish on the Daytona, I think it is. I want to have a look where that gearbox is. Because I'm pretty sure I did a faster time with my other drivers. 3:29. And that is with the gearbox on 9, I think. Because I did not change it on that driver. So it might be possible that you have like... oh yeah, I have the gearbox on 9. Okay. 10 it is then. Let's do a run on with the gearbox on 10. Whoa, 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 whoa. What is that? What kind of a setting is that? Is that the default setting lately? Yeah. Let me check something. Do I have a setting stored already for this or not? I find it a very strange setting there that you have like one slider on 3 and the rest is on 5 or whatever. Yeah, that's what I thought. Let's have a look. 5, 6, 5, 7, 0, 0, 8, 10. That's why all these... so if this is like the default setting, then it makes pretty much sense. Why all those cars the other day in PvP were doing strange things. Okay, let's try with this thing. God. The other day we were doing some PvP on Monday, I think it was. Hello, Nash. How is the summit? In a way, okay. In such a way, I haven't found a reset yet.
3,
Although I think that on the Mercedes track there is one, I think, where you can turn around or something, but not so much making a difference. Okay, let's see what we can get out of it now with the gearbox on 10. 380 or so. Not super if you compare it to the Porsche 911 or the Audi RS5 or the Lamborghini Huracan or so. They go all over 400. definitely a cut here. You can go spray as well, there's no doubt about it. Should change the brake balance as well. Need to boost up core because this thing has no acceleration coming out of the corners because we have the gearbox that high. This is for sure straight. I saw there a gap again and I saw the checkpoint standing there, that means that you can go through there. Might be a bit too many trees there on that one, but made it through the twisty section, I think. Yep. One corner to the right, one corner to the left, and finish. .29. About 6 seconds faster, I think. And there are for sure 1 or 2 cuts possible, I think, where we did like a little less corner, where we could just gone straight. And yeah, this is the benefit of doing this on a Wednesday, but it's also something which I don't that interesting. Do not find it that interesting. If you do this on day 1, you are easily into the top 1%. Reason being, of course, that not even 10% of the field has set a score or whatever. They are ranked. 8,000 players are ranked, but that doesn't mean anything. They could have done like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 events. Definitely not 9 events. There are some people, those are like the early scorers. Those are guys you see on Wednesday. And other than that, you don't see them. So they set a score here, they show it on their video, and that's about it. And the rest of the week, the only thing you see happening is that they drop to top 15, top 20, top 25, top 45, who knows, by the end of the week. Don't see them the rest of the week. So they quickly set a score, and that's exactly what we did here now. And then you're in 12th place, but it does not mean anything. If you don't do anything on it, you drop to 30, 40, 50 place. So yeah, doing this on Wednesday, we can show you the vehicles, we can show you the routes, and that's all fine. But that is also something that over time, during the week, it might change. Because now we're setting some scores, but you might be, for instance, that the USA, you will suddenly see the Ford GT 2005 show up during the week, as example. That could be possible, and then you need to change your car. Because if people are going faster in that thing, you need to change as well. That's as simple as that. So doing it on Wednesday gives you an idea, but I'm not a fan of it. That's why I was normally doing the Noob Dust Summit on Saturday, which also makes it way harder to get into the top 30, because more people will have their scores set and done the 9 events if you look on the weekend. But the reason I'm doing it on a Wednesday is because, yeah, that's not what people want to see. They want to see everything on day 1. On day 1, it gives you an idea, but it definitely is not the full concept of it. Perfect example is last week in the BMW bike. I think I showed you guys like on my normal driver I did like a normal run at first. Just stayed on the track, not a problem. Then in the Noob Summit I did the resets, but I stayed on the track other than that. I just do like 2 or 3 resets and that's it. I also was thinking at that moment that last reset put you on the wrong side of the barrier and that you cannot do it. So in the last lap I did not do that reset, but that turned out to be all possible. So you had to do 4 resets instead of 3. And next to that, you also had to jump over the wall by the end of the week, because that was one of those things that changed during the week. But there's a big difference. If you did a normal run, you had a time of like around 3 minutes 20. If you did a reset run, you had a time around 3 minutes. If you did reset and walls, you had a time around 2:40, 2:50. Big difference. 30, 40 seconds difference between the beginning of the week and the end of the week, because things change during the week. That's why I'm not a fan of showing this all on Wednesday. But it is what people want, so we give them what they want. But easy, top 1%. Some of these things I can drive with another car. Will still be in the top 1% of the platinum, meaning top 30 on Wednesday. It's easy as hell. If you have the parts and all that kind of stuff, because like these were not like super runs yet. I have here or there maybe some decent times, but that escape that can go like twice as far as we've driven. Been messing a bit on those trees. People are doing 16, 14, 13 kilometers, whatever. So yeah, we can definitely go way faster there and way further down the road. Which means you can probably score, let's see, what are they scoring? Those guys that are 16k. 157,822, yeah. 157,850 is the maximum score. So if you can get to like 18 or 20 kilometers, you probably have the maximum score in this event. So yeah, that is just a matter of getting through the trees in the beginning, get somewhere to a road, maybe even to the highway, and you're up for several kilometers. Need to have a look on that on the map. What is the best route to find? Over here, yeah. That is also pretty clear, I think. Let's have a look. Yeah, this is all hypercar, all that you see. It's an off-road skill, but it's all that you see. Street race bike, that is a guy having a scorebreaker skilled muddy combination on a street race bike. Also works. 15th place is the first rally raid vehicle. And then from 20th on, you see a bit of a combination of rally raid and hypercar. But yeah, if you show up here with a rally raid, sometimes they are competition, not this time. That's already very clear on day 1. In the top 15, you do not see a rally raid. So forget about it, using rally raid, although, yeah. It's also something which was never very clear for me, why we have colors on those skill tests. Speed trap, okay, people are using a drag car, that is indeed a yellow family. These 2 orange ones, people are using hypercar, that is yellow family. People are using street race, that's yellow family. Some of the slaloms, people are using touring car or so. That's the blue skill test, but also there you see people show up with hypercar. So these colors, they mean nothing for the skill test, as long as they do not restrict them like they do in these events. Here we have USA, here we have Italy, here we have specific cars, the NSX GT3, the Vector here, European Rallycross, Red Bull. So we have like certain restrictions within that event. They should do the same in the skill test. No idea why they don't do it, but yeah. It's not like we haven't told them. There is certain things which we are telling them for like 18 months and not so sure what they are doing with that information. Are they still debating about it? Or are they still discussing it? Or do they just think like, let them rant a bit and will not change anything? I don't know. The same with the back on track. From the workshop on, which was about 2-3 months before the release of the game, we have been telling that. Get rid of that because it's going to give problems. No, it's fine, not a problem. Will not give a problem. I think, meanwhile, 18 months into the game, we know that it's a problem by now. So that should not be a problem. Like, it's like something new and we don't know what it is. Yeah, we have been telling them that for like almost 2 years now. So either they can't fix it, or they will not fix it, or there is somebody up there on the decision makers who decides like, nah, we're not gonna give it, because it needs to be casual as hell. Does not make sense in a summit, in my opinion. That's a sort of competitive, what is it actually? Sort of competitive solo thing, right? You do it solo, you can here and there use some friends, but it's not like you're driving against other players directly. Indirectly, of course, you do, because you have a leaderboard and you... so it's sort of like a time attack mode for leaderboard, while in the PvP you more have the multiplayer racing, where you actually drive against other players. But here we are racing annoying AI, which also should not be there. It's another one of those things, but... 12th place. 1,305,000, that score can go way up, which also need to go way up if you want to stay in the top 1% of Platinum by the end of the week. We're going to have to improve, and maybe here and there adjust the route a little bit or change the car. I will have a look at it again on somewhere in the weekend. The weekly routine, where I do the seasonals in Forza, and then usually afterwards I go to the Crew 2 and have a look what's going on there, try to improve a bit. But that will be it for this one. From Dusk Till Dawn. 12th place at the moment. A first look at it, more or less, that's what it is, especially if you do it on Wednesday. Other than that, we will see. I will see you guys later this week for the weekly routine, some other stuff. We will do a few other streams, either from this game or from another game. We will see. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next one, and bye for now.